So a couple of weeks ago, I actually purchased these, the Thursday Wingtip dress boot. And I've had my eye on these for quite a while now, finally pulled the trigger. And overall, so far, I've been impressed just wearing them just a couple of times. So today, we're going to talk about them. So I've always said that dress boots are one of the most versatile items that a guy can have in his wardrobe. You can wear these with a suit. You could also dress them down to a pair of jeans and t-shirt, or if you're like me, just a polo shirt. I just like polo shirts a lot better. They're better in every way when compared to t-shirts. So when it comes to finding a shoe that looks good across that entire spectrum, it's kind of tough because we have some options like a actual real dress shoe like you're seeing right here, the Allen Edmonds McAllister, but this can start to look a little bit funky when it comes to wearing them with jeans and a short sleeve polo shirt like this. Not to mention that leather sole, the lack of comfort, the closure. I have a love-hate relationship with these shoes, and honestly I'm thinking about getting rid of them just because every time I wear them they're not very comfortable. Speaking of comfort, we can go the other way and get some sort of or you can go the other way and get some sort of a hybrid dress shoe. This is basically a sneaker disguised as a dress shoe, not a very good disguise, and that's kind of the compromise you're making here when compared to something that actually looks a little bit more classic. Like you see this dress boot, the Thursday dress boot, just has a more classic look to it. You have that stacked heel. It just looks a lot more sleek. This, maybe from far away, it's going to look okay, but once you get up close, you're going to see it's definitely bulkier. It's just not as stylish, and it's just, jack of all trades, master of none. So these are great for casual outfits. These are even great for smart casual, but as soon as you start wearing them with a suit, it's really not going to look that great. I've seen people do it, and they're pulling it off, but for me, every time I put these on one of my suits, I'm just not a fan. Now there is something else you could do. You can get that same exact shoe in black, and now we're talking. Now this is a suit shoe, but again, now we're back to the black shoes. What if you don't like black shoes? What if you like brown shoes like most of us, right? Most of us like brown shoes, but you need to have that one pair of black shoes. So that's why I've always said the dress boot is the best option. Now when we talk about boots, in general, boots are typically fall, winter, early spring. It's very, very hard to find a boot that is breathable enough. Even if a boot is breathable enough, the leather is going to cover more of your ankle up here. So I have another pair of Thursday Captain boots that are actually awesome boots, but of course they're more rugged. You can't dress them up to a full suit, and you really can't wear them if it's above 70 degrees because your feet, if you're like me, when I wear them, my feet just sweat. Now, years ago, probably over 5 years ago, I've had these boots for a very, very long time, the Allen Edmonds Daltons. These things, absolutely awesome, very comfortable, double leather sole. I actually took the sole protectors off of them just to let them breathe a little bit. Great look. Wore them in the summer as well. I've worn these to a summer wedding. And are your feet going to be as cool and breathable as if you're wearing a low-cut shoe? Probably not, but I was totally fine, and I will take the sacrifice because these things, super, super comfortable. There's a caveat to these, though. Number one, they're discontinued. Number two, even if they weren't discontinued, these things are probably going to be $550. So I always was on the lookout for a boot that could essentially replace this, as far as like if I was going to recommend to you what shoe should you get if you want to maximize versatility, well, that's where the Thursday Wingtip dress boot comes in. It's a little bit of a history lesson of how we got here. So $250. Boot's pretty breathable. It's actually very breathable, especially when compared to the other boots that I have. They basically feel very similar to this. Again, this thing is twice the price, so it's not going to feel as nice as these. But for $250, I could say just wearing them around, dressing them up, I am very pleased with them. Break-in process was minimal. The fit, it is a little bit more narrow than your regular Thursday Captains or Presidents, the plain toe ones. But overall, it's a Thursday boot. It's going to be comfortable. Break-in's going to be minimal. And the value that they're providing for the price is going to be unmatched. As you could see, again, minimal wear on these. I do keep shoe trees in them, so we don't have crazy creasing right there. You can see the boot starting to have a little bit of a starting to mold itself to my ankle. And on this one, the left shoe, just pay attention to the leather creasing right there. Overall, I'm very impressed with a $250 boot that this is not creasing like crazy. Want to see crazy creasing? Not crazy creasing. You want to see creasing that I don't like? This is creasing that I don't like. This is the Cole Haan Original brand. Just another reason why I wouldn't want to wear these unless it was a smart casual situation. What I call smart casual is a pair of khakis, some sort of a dressy polo or dress shirt, maybe a sweater, and a sport coat. Start going full suit, even casual suit. This is just going to look pretty rough. And I take care of these. I polish them. I keep them in shoe trees. I keep shoe trees in them. And I do wear these in the rain. These are like these were my summer rain shoes, which is probably why they look a little bit rough and tumbled, but they've done the job well. So I think we're at a point where I can recommend, if you have a little bit more of a budget, if you're looking to spend a little bit more than $100 on a pair of nice shoes, that you want to maximize versatility, I will always say dress boots are the way to go because you wear them with jeans and a t-shirt and a suit. But now $250 is going to get you a shoe that you can pretty much wear it unless you're wearing shorts. And even if, of course, you can wear whatever you want with anything. But I wouldn't wear a high top boot with shorts. I've done it with chukka boots before and it looks okay. But usually when I'm wearing shorts, I don't really love wearing shorts anymore. I'm usually just wearing a casual pair of Vans or just a casual pair of whatever sneakers. I'm not a big sneaker guy either. But this seems to be the best value since you're not going to have to, if you want to go super minimal, here we go. This is the conversation that we're going to have. So this is what I would call your super minimal starter wardrobe as far as shoes. And these are going to be shoes that you can wear both with a full suit, but also to the office without killing your feet and not having to worry about rain, sleet, ice, snow, not having to worry about any of that. The first shoe would be the Cole Haan Original brand in all black. I picked these up for like $90 a while ago. Of course, I don't really wear these because I don't really wear black shoes at all, but we've all got to have that one pair of black shoes. I used to have a pair of black Allen Edmonds Park Avenues. They weren't comfortable. They didn't fit right, so I just figured, let me just replace them with a cheaper pair. And since these are all black, I have worn these with a full suit. More like try them on inside of the studio, but I haven't had to wear a full suit in a long time, and different conversation, different time. These are perfectly acceptable with a full suit. And the bonus of these is you can wear them in the snow, you can wear them in the rain. If you're going to walk for a long time, you're good with these, especially when we compare them to something like a traditional dress shoe. Of course, this is brown, but even if it was black, that leather sole, you're either going to have to put a stick-on sole like I did a while ago. It's not going to feel as comfortable. You're not going to want to wear this in the rain. This is almost too nice to wear for real rough outdoor situations. So this number one shoe, right? Number two shoe, if you want to go more casual and you want to wear something to the office, you get the same style shoe, just get it in some sort of a brown. You don't have to get Cole Haans, by the way. There's a lot of different options out there, a lot of hybrid. These are hybrid. The hybrid dress shoe has definitely caught on just because I think people as a whole, guys as a whole, we're just tired of hurting our feet in some nice leather-soled dress shoes that we used to do years ago. So this would be my pick for your everyday shoe. You can, again, pretty versatile. You can't dress it up with a suit. Doesn't look quite right, but this is your good business casual shoe. This is your workhorse shoe. Caught in the rain, caught in the snow, long walks, subways broken like it always is here in New York. You're covered. Your back might be hurting from carrying your backpack, but at least your feet and your knees they're going to be thanking you. But the thing is, what do you do when you want to wear a nice brown shoe? What do you do when you want something that's a little bit more stylized? Well, that is where, again, the shoe that I just showed you, the nice wingtip from Allen Edmonds, this is nice because this is basically a much more dressy, not this one. This is a much more dressy option than when it comes to, compared to this. But again, like we were just saying, the problem is lack of comfort, lack of rain resistance. You got to futz around with those leather soles. You can't ride a bike in them. Might not matter to you, but to me it does. To me it just does. That is where the dress boot comes in. And again, I've talked about dress boots for quite a while now on this channel. If you're new here, welcome. But it's not something that I always preached. I don't consider myself a boot guy. I don't consider myself, like, I'm not super into boots, and I don't lay awake at night thinking about boots. If anything, I think about bikes and cameras more than shoes nowadays. But I always just found that, especially when compared to the standard dress shoe that I keep showing you, these things, I mean, I've walked 10 miles in New York City with these, of course in the dry, and this was like 6 or 7 years ago. I've had these for a very long time, with the leather sole, right? No addition. I had a rubber piece on top of the leather sole for a long time. I just took it off recently just to change it up, and sometimes I just wanted to change it up. I don't know, why not? Just figuring something else out. But that's where I can trust this shoe that you can walk forever, and there's just comfort when it comes to this boot. And that's what started to get me thinking, if you really care about comfort and versatility, because boots are more versatile than dress shoes. The dress boot is, you don't need dress shoes anymore. Just get a pair of dress boots. Of course, these are discontinued. They replace them with a pair of crazy expensive $1,000 whatever reserve line. But they also make the McAllister in this is the McAllister. They make this one in a boot, which is pretty cool. It's a closed lacing boot, but it has a day-night rubber sole, which pros and cons. But again, $550 for the Allen Edmonds boots. If you're just starting out, do you want to spend $550 on a pair of shoes? That's a lot. You could do a lot with that. You probably are going to want to save some of your budget for some nice shirts, maybe a nice sport coat. So it's really just not really that smart. And shoes are something you really should be, changing them out every other day or so just to take care of them. So that is where the Thursday Wingtip boot comes in. And I've got to say, I am very pleased. Cons about this boot, there's not much. I do wish that it was a bit more of a brighter shade of brown. I do like the red hues of the Cole Haans and the shoes that I keep showing you, the dark chili, the Allen Edmonds dark chili color. I do wish that it was a little bit more like that. But again, we can't ask for perfection for everything. These things are $250, super comfortable. I don't know what else I could say about it. So far, so good. I mean, it's not made in America, but it's a lot cheaper. Again, you want a made in America boot, you're going to be paying over $500. That's more than twice the price of these. Thursday is a really nice company, really great company. They've got this their own version of the day-night rubber outsole. I've ridden my bicycle in these. You can see I've got some pedal marks right here. Probably not something most people would do, but I bike commute sometimes now, and I don't want to be changing out my dress shoes. I like to keep it as simple as possible. So there you go. That's the first look at the Thursday Wingtip boot. So far, so good. I can recommend them. Again, the 3 shoes that you should start with, or the 3 types of shoes that I would recommend you start with, just to maximize versatility, and especially for your wallet, is number 1, a nice cheap-ish value pair of black hybrid shoes. Just because the black, you don't need to go super high end when it comes to black, because it's, there's not as many imperfections. It hides a lot of the imperfections of the leather. Shoe number 2 is going to be your casual, comfortable, sort of dressy, smart casual brown shoe. This is going to be your workhorse if you like brown. And when it comes to something a little bit more classic, a little bit more dressy, just go with dress boots. The dress boot is going to be a lot more versatile. You're going to wear it a lot more. It's going to be good in the rain. It's going to be good in the snow. If you pick one in the summertime, or just make sure you pick one that is not Chrome XL leather. I feel a sneeze coming. Hold on. Make sure, my experience, the Chrome XL boots, think your Allen Edmonds Higgins Mill boot that I had for many, many years. A lot of your Thursday Captain boots, your standard Thursday boots, those are going to be Chrome XL leather. That's going to be a little bit too hot to wear in the summer for me. My feet tend to be more sensitive to the heat. So something like this is not Chrome XL leather. Last I checked, I could be mistaken. I'll throw it up on the screen if I'm wrong. But I don't think it's Chrome XL, because you're not getting those crazy creasing that Chrome XL sometimes does, where it doesn't look too great. But, that's subjective. Sometimes it can look nice. But what I'm trying to get at here is, if you pick a dress boot, that is more breathable and you can wear it in the summer months, you're going to get a lot more use out of it, and you're not going to have to get a pair of nice American-made, Goodyear welted, super stylish dress shoes. Because as nice as these things are, this is like having a Lamborghini sitting in your garage and driving it 2 times a year. It's pretty much what it is. There's having something super nice, like a nice Rolex that you have that you barely ever wear because you're too scared it's going to get stolen in New York City. Probably one of the reasons why I always say I'll never own a Rolex, just because of that. I just don't want to be worried about it. So that's pretty much what this encompasses for me. $425 for a pair of shoe that is going to hurt your feet if you wear them for over an hour, and you're going to have to figure out that leather sole. It's just not as practical to invest a lot more money in something like this when you can get a pair of Thursday Wingtip dress boots for $250. I would also take a look at Beckett Simonon. They have some nice dress boots. I had a pair of wingtips by them. The Kent wingtip, that was pretty cool. That was a good shoe. You're going to have to wait a little while longer for those, but if you're not in a rush, then absolutely can recommend them. So just shop around, but I would always say the boot is just going to be a much better bet. It's crazy. Just a few years ago, I wasn't really into boots. I was just like, yeah, boots are boots. Cool. I always saw guys making YouTube boot videos and, designing their whole YouTube channel around boots. It's great, right? But it's just never something I really delved into. I was always just into it because of the winter, because of the rain resistance. But now I'm becoming more of a boot guy simply because of the versatility and the comfort and the utility, right? Versatility, again, like we've said, jeans and a t-shirt, all the way up to a suit and tie. Comfortability, a lot of times it comes with a rubber sole. Even if it does have a leather sole, it's going to be a double leather sole. It's going to be a little bit more of a hardy sole, a little bit more cushion, a little bit more forgiving, and the fit is going to be more forgiving as well. So that's the comfortability. I don't know if I'm making up that word. And of course, the utility, rubber sole, is just going to be a little bit easier to wear in the rain, in the snow. Of course, they're not waterproof, but they're going to be a lot easier to wear this in the rain. Or these are going to be more easy to wear in inclement weather than a nice leather-soled shoe. So that's the first look, and that's a couple of weeks just wearing this boot. So far, so good. I'm really liking it. And I can honestly say so far, I do recommend it to you. I should have said this at the beginning of the video. This Thursday did not sponsor this. They haven't sponsored me at all. Actually, I reached out to them a while ago and they never responded. So it is what it is. I purchased these with my own money. If they fall apart and they're absolutely horrible, I will let you know, because there's no one's telling me I have to say this or say that. This is just my own opinion. And as you can see, it's probably going to be mostly one take, except for the sneezes that I have to cut out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and as always, thanks for watching.